The Nets ranked 28th in defense the first 7 days of the season, first 3 games. This was their biggest Achilles heel last year. It was the reason why their championship odds were preposterous all year long. It was their Achilles heel when they did get to the postseason. Tell me that their defense is going to improve. I know that their shooting is going to improve. They did not shoot the ball well in the preseason. They have not shot the ball great so far, but Joe Harris is back, and hopefully at some point Seth Curry is going to come back. What about their defense? Because that's the big red letter as far as I can see right now.
I can't sit here and tell you that it's going to improve that much. I think they've got to build chemistry, B, and that only comes with playing together. And that is a huge part of learning what Simmons wants to do on the floor, getting everybody to buy in. Nick Claxton has had a nice couple games, but I mean, my gosh, if he gets into any kind of foul trouble, again, Andrew and I watched it. If Nick Claxton goes down on this Nets team, goodbye, because they just don't have that other piece down low. But I don't see the Nets being able to develop at a defensive level to a point where you can think they can legitimately contend for a title. I think they can win a lot of regular season games. They're going to be much better than what we've seen to this point, on top of getting Harris back fully, getting Seth Curry back on the floor. Kevin and Kyrie have a great chemistry between them, and they're going to learn each other. But B, you and I talked about this before the season. The only way that the Nets can turn things down the road, to me, is by making a deal. Is that Miles Turner? Is that somebody else? Who knows? But I can't sit here not only watching the preseason, watching these first couple games in the regular season, and tell you that the defense is going to improve to a level where you feel like they can legitimately make it happen in the postseason. I don't think they have the parts right now to do that, although I'm waiting to see what Simmons looks like a couple months from now compared to where he is in the moment.
How come Ben Simmons hasn't made more of an impact?
Because he looks right now like the player who we saw at the end of his time in Philadelphia. That's probably the best answer that I could give. Tim Legler talked about it the other night on SportsCenter after that first game. He just does not look comfortable offensively at all. He wants no part of any kind of jump shot. And we're not even talking about a three-point shot. We're talking about anything that's not a couple feet from the rim. And he has no desire to go to the free throw line. So you're taking a player who is incredibly talented, but is so limited in what he's able to provide right now. I do think his confidence will improve the more he plays. And that's why anybody who says, oh, we're never going to see the old Simmons, I don't agree with that so much yet, because he's the first one to point out he's only played 6 games in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So let's give it a little bit more time. But the reason why Simmons hasn't shown more and the Nets haven't been able to do more with him on the floor is because his confidence right now is not where they need it to be if they want to be one of the better teams in the East.
Yeah, maybe he'll take 6 free throws tonight, but he's so far this season he's taken 2 free throws.
And he missed them both.
Ideal. I've said this. I don't care if he doesn't take a shot outside the paint the whole year. I seriously don't. I would say the same thing about Zion, by the way. I know early in his career it was like take threes. I don't know where they are with this, Andrew. I know they've got their shooting coach, Fred Vinson, who is well known for helping shots. Honestly, he's so good inside the paint. I would say, Zion, you don't have to shoot outside.
He does have, you mentioned the 22 shots in the paint in the first game against the Nets. He followed that up with, I think, 19 against Charlotte and 16 against the Jazz. So 57 shots so far this season.
Sounds
every
good.
shot has been in the paint so far.
Love it. Ben Simmons, watch the game film. I honestly don't care if Ben Simmons even scores that much, but Ben Simmons has got to be awesome defensively. He's got to be able to guard 1 through 5. He's got to be able to defend the rim. He's got to be able to pick balls off the backboard and start fast breaks running. Because he is a great passer in transition. In fact, his rim, his outlet passing is an underrated skill of his. Like, honestly, I don't care if he averages less than 10 points a game. They shouldn't need offensive help. He's got to be a defensive playmaker. He's got to use his hands to get into passing lanes. He's got to be the guy who, when another perimeter scorer is going off, that they put him on him and make it hard. Like, that's got to be his role. That's where he's going to earn his money. He doesn't have to be an all-star offensive player. He needs to be what Herb Jones is for the Pelicans, who works so hard and has such great range, but he's so much stronger than Herb Jones that he should be even more versatile in such a way as Friedell. And so all I've seen from Ben Simmons defensively the first few games is fouling. Now, again, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. And the Grizzlies are a little banged up right now, especially with their bigs. So we'll see. But I haven't seen it yet.
And the key with what you just mentioned with Simmons is he continues to be in foul trouble. He fouled out a preseason game in Minnesota about a week ago, like 12 or 13 minutes. I've never even seen that. I don't even know.
I've seen it in summer league.
Right. I mean, Montrezl Harrell did it in preseason. He was he fouled out a minute sooner, which is pretty incredible, but that list is not long. And in that first game Andrew and I were at when the Nets played the Pelicans, fouled out really quickly. His timing
23 minutes.
Yeah, it was rough.
He's averaging a foul so far, and again, we're in sample size, minutia right now, but he's averaging one foul every 7 minutes so far.
And the timing's not there. There's a lot of rust. But again, I think the offense is going to help set up his defense. And I'm with you. He doesn't need to go jack up threes that he's not going to make, or even take 18-footers that he also probably isn't going to make. What he needs to do is be able to run what they need offensively and get other people open and create easier looks for everybody else. He's shown that in very small glimpses to this point, but I think that will help him get more comfortable on the other end as well. It's just the Nets don't have a lot of time with the way their schedule is set up to wait that long, because while we're taping this prior to the Memphis game, Wednesday, they play Milwaukee. Thursday, they come home and play Luka and the Mavs. In about a week and a half, they go on a West Coast swing, and they've got a bunch of games that you look at and go, oh, I mean, I don't know. They've got back-to-back home games against the Pacers, and they play the
Kevin
Wizards.
Durant and Kyrie Irving. That should help, right?
It should.
Right?
It should.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.